Welcome, powerful women. We are so happy to have you here with us today. I'm Jeannine.Widmann, and I coach bold women entrepreneurs. I do that through one-on-one individual coaching, and I run workshops called Your Bold Badass Business. I know some of the women that are joining us today are some badasses with us on our hangout, so I'm psyched to have you guys here. And all of the women, we've got a lot of ladies with us today. And along with my one-on-one coaching and my workshops, the thing I'm really excited about is that I get to co-lead a retreat with Aubrey Arms.
Woo! Yay, I'm so excited. Hello, beautiful, powerful women. I am Aubrey Arms. I'm a prosperity coach and the creator of Awaken Your Greatness. I work with successful women to help them transform their relationship with money so they can reach the next level of their success in ways that feel good to them and allow for more joy in their life. So in addition to that, I lead online money magnetism classes, and I co-create with this fabulous woman, Jeannine, and having regular dance parties that we offer for other women, and this amazing retreat that we have created and been collaborating with all year on in Sedona coming up next month.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So excited, and we just want to thank you for being here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Thanks for saying yes. And thanks for tuning in to 3 simple ways to claim your divine feminine power. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, obviously. And what Aubrey and I are up to these days, we are creating a movement of powerful women like yourself, and that want connection with women. They want to be their authentic selves. They want to play. They want to be silly. They want to show up however they are, messy, whatever. And so it's been so fun for us to create this group of ladies and women that are seeking that too. And this is a part of it. So thank you for being here. You're in the right place if you are one of these women who you want to express yourself more authentically. You know, you find that maybe there's places in your life where you have to hold back, maybe at work, maybe even in family, right? You want to break through that and you want to express authentically. You know, you're in the right place if you want to succeed without burning out. You know, some people are on the way to burnout and they're not seeing it. And we're here to just say there's a different way. You're here in the right place if you want to stop apologizing for your desires, right? So this is what we're up for today in claiming our divine feminine power.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeannine. I'm so excited to be here. I don't know about all these other beautiful, powerful women, but I am certainly excited to be here with you today, creating in this beautiful way that we do together. So women, if you're just tuning in, you'll want to make sure that you capture the entire Google Live Hangout broadcast. Stay all the way to the end. We've got lots of gifties that we'll be giving out throughout and lots of prosperity practices. So you'll have some homework to do so you can start taking this information and actually putting it into action and creating some transformation in your life starting today.
Yeah. And what we want to let folks know is the purpose of why we're here. And the purpose is to illuminate some new ways of being, right? Like Aubrey and I are just noticing all the ways that are not working for us anymore. And we have it that they're not working for you either, right? And so we want to let folks know there's a new way to do things. And we're calling it the divine feminine. And so we are going to be throughout our day today calling bullshit on all the ways that are no longer working.
Absolutely. Before we get into that, I just want to take a moment and let's get us all grounded in together. We've got lots of people on the line watching us as we're doing this live broadcast, and I know there's even more women that couldn't be with us live today that will be rewatching it this evening when they get home from their work. So just want to invite you to take a moment and just really ground in with me. So let's take a few breaths together. I don't know about you, Jeannine, but my heart's racing a little bit. And so I just want to ground myself in and ground these women in. So if you're watching us, whether it's live or on the replay, just take a moment right now and set aside everything else that you've got going on, all your to-dos, all your gotta-haves, all of it. Just set it aside. And let's take a few cleansing breaths to bring us present to this moment. I always like to feel into my body while I'm doing this work too, just to bring myself really present to the right here, the right now. So go ahead and breathe in with me. Feel the bottoms of your feet. Wiggle in, just feel your body. So I invite you to take this hour just for you. Like really whatever else is going on, it really can wait. And you can put yourself first for this hour. If you're here listening to Jeannine and I, you've been called here on purpose. There is no mistake that you are here with us today. It is because you are a woman leader who is searching for a new way and to be your authentic self, to be a leader from a place that feels good, getting away from all those old ways that just don't work for us anymore. They just don't work. So I want to welcome you here, right now. And above all else, Jeannine and I, we love engagement. We love to build conversation. So we've got our group chat open. We'd love to hear from you as we are going along in our broadcast today. We'd love to hear from you afterwards. So if you don't already have a notebook and a pen or a pencil or your computer or however you like to take notes, go ahead and grab that right now, because we are going to be revealing some juicy information today that you're not going to want to miss. And we want to know, what are the parts, what are these little nuggets? What are the juicy little nuggets that you're walking away with? What are the ahas that came to you during this broadcast? So we want to hear from you. So please do engage, have conversation, and we can't wait to continue the conversation after we're done today.
Yeah, and we'll be sharing juicy little nuggets from our experiences too, right? Like, I know one of our favorite things to do is just kind of bounce off of each other about like, oh yeah, let me show you how that shows up for me. And what I love, one of the things I love about you, Obs, is that you are always sharing from such a vulnerable place. And it always makes me go, oh yeah, me too. Right? And so we just want all of you guys to know what you can expect from us is just, we're going to just be real, be our authentic selves, be our silly selves, and just have fun. You know, I always say, I'm having fun. You're welcome to join me.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to say that leading from vulnerability is one of my superpowers. And I'll tell you, nothing stretches that muscle like leading a collaborative live video broadcast, right? Like, holy crap, who knows what's actually going to come through today? It's pretty amazing. And yeah, we're going to share some stories of ourselves, of why us? Like, why are we here telling you about how to claim your divine feminine power? And it's because we've been there. Like, we have been in those jobs that didn't feel good, that didn't work for us. We have subscribed to other people's definitions of success. We have done what we thought it took to be successful in our careers. And we're going to share with you the cost that had with us individually as we go on throughout the day. So again, thank you for being here. Welcome. We're so excited and so thrilled that you are here with us today. So let's get into it, right, Jeannine? We've been talking for a really long time about all these old ways, and I call them the old paradigm. And I know sometimes that word is overused, but it's still what really resonates for me right now. And gosh, there's so much so much of my 20s were really subscribing to that old paradigm of like what I thought it needed to take, I needed to do to be successful, right? And the world and in my business and in my career. And so we're going to go through some of these old paradigm items, and we're going to, like Jeannine said, we're going to call bullshit. Like these things don't work anymore. And let's just kick it off. So the first old paradigm that we're calling bullshit on is the idea that being selfish is bad. You know,
bullshit.
Like, I really want us all to reclaim the word selfish. Like, when did that become such a bad thing? Like, as women particularly, I think that we avoid being called selfish or feeling selfish. We avoid it at all cost. And it comes at a huge, huge cost to avoid being selfish. So you guys know, if you're not living it now, you've probably lived it in the past. We have that cultural norm where we're supposed to devote like everything we have into our business, to our career, whatever our work is. And then when we're done doing that, we devote the rest of our energy and our efforts into our families. If we have children, you know, some of us are dealing with ailing parents. And then there's our spouses or our partner or our romance or our love that then we give our energy and effort to. And like, there's no room for you. You are at the end of your list. And it's leaving you stressed out. It's leaving you overwhelmed. It's leaving you depleted. And it's leaving you with very little joy in your life. So I want to get into some specific examples on how buying into this old paradigm of being selfish is bad, how that might play out. So again, like, how many of you have spent 10, 12, 14 hours a day working, and maybe you forget to eat or take any kind of a break? Like oh my gosh, like I used to be in a position where like I would actually forget to go pee in the middle of the day. Like I would go for hours and hours and hours, and I didn't even have time to go pee. It was ridiculous. It was so crazy, because this idea of like, oh, if I actually put my needs first, then like I was being selfish, and I just wanted to avoid that at all costs. And with that comes with nourishing ourselves, right? And so like one of the ways that that we avoid being selfish is a lot of times we eat crap food, right? Like Jeannine, I don't know if you can relate to that, but like I know, especially in the last job that I had, I was so like heads down, like work, like, oh shit, I'm starving. I've got a case of the hangries. I'm lashing out at people. And I'd like run to the closest food truck and get some food that was delicious, but quite frankly, really terrible for me. Yeah. And I was just like, I was way overweight and just simply not happy. Like I was never moving. It was just terrible.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this woman in front of you today is not the woman that I met a year and a half ago.
I know. I've
the transformation.
Like
How many?
I've lost like 60 pounds in the last year and a half, just simply by putting myself first. And yeah, and like taking good care of myself and making sure that I get the movement that I know my body needs, and I'm eating foods that actually work for me.
Yeah. No, when you said I was running around, when I sit down and eat a meal now, it's like I just remember how often I literally would eat breakfast on the way to the light rail. I'd eat lunch from Starbucks, over an overpriced sandwich in between meetings. Walking. I was always eating while I was walking, right? I never sat down. And yeah, the whole thing. Now I just like pick things out of my garden and I sit eating down and I'm like, whoa. It just feels so nourishing, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for a lot of women that this whole idea of being selfish, right? Like what comes up is when they do take time out for themselves, they've got that inner critic voice, right? Like I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. And like they're screaming like, you're lazy, you need to be doing something. And so even if you get to the place of like, okay, you know something needs to change, like the voices are screaming at you about how you're lazy and how it's bad to be selfish and all of this. So we just want to call bullshit on this old paradigm that being selfish is bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so simple way, number one, to reclaim your divine feminine power is me first. Like without apology, me first. Like claiming that phrase instead of the selfish phrase. And some women that I've talked to about this are like, they cringe when they hear me first. Like, ooh, it's so naughty. Right? Like, all right, let's have fun being naughty then, you know? Like, me first in your schedule, me first in your day-to-day, all of that. And, you know, I just want to like pause here because what comes into people's minds, like, well, what about, like, I'm a mother, you know, what about you know, I have to support my family, and we get it. There's people in your life. And what we're saying is you first, more often, you first in service of all that you're committed to in your business, with your children, in your partnership, right? Like if you're not sourcing yourself first, it's that old example of the oxygen mask coming down. If you don't put yours on first, you're not serving anyone around you. And yet we know this, we've heard that a million times. And yet what has us not putting it into play, right? Because I don't know about you, like someone wants to, like, hey, Jeannine, let's have a meeting, let's have coffee. And I go to look at my calendar and I see, like, I have taken on the practice of booking my time out for me, where I have my dance class, I have a yoga class, and still sometimes the old paradigm creeps in and I'm like, I can do that. Yeah, 9 to 10, I can do that over my dance class. And I call bullshit on myself right now.
I love it. I love it.
And so that's what we're talking about. Like in those moments when you're going to catch yourself, it's the me first moment, right? Yeah,
absolutely. It's so easy for us to put ourselves last, to be like, oh, it's okay, right?
Yeah.
It's okay if I miss my dance class or I don't do my meditation today. Like, it's okay.
But here's the deal. Here's like, why should we care? What's at stake here? What's at stake is you're actually not going to create the things that you want to create. When you are not nourishing yourself and sourcing yourself, you just won't get there. Right? So I know it seems counterintuitive, but without sourcing yourself first, you're just not going to create what you want in your business and in all the other areas of your life. And the other thing at stake, you know, is your health. Like, even if your strong spirit is like, nope, I can keep going, your body will shut you down. So crazy. I have some friends getting married next week, and they are not, they're running around and they're letting themselves get so stressed out about it. And they are not taking time to source themselves, you know? And so one of them is getting really sick right in time for the ceremony. And it's just so hard to, it's just like, as strong as you think your spirit is and your determination, your body will shut you down. So that's what's at stake. Pretty serious stuff. So let's reclaim me first without apology.
Yeah, without apology. And like, ladies, listen, like, you're only going to be a fraction as successful as you want to be unless you do this. It is vital. It is urgent. If you really want to do what you've set out to do in this lifetime, it is urgent that you put yourself first. Got it? Is it sinking in? You know, I had a client session yesterday, and she started a new project, and it's been crazy. And she's, you know, in this moment, she's been working, you know, 12, 14-hour days, and talking about how your body will shut down on you. She actually had an anxiety attack. And for her, when she has anxiety attacks, she actually will pass out. And in the past, she has passed out and like hit her head on like the fireplace or something of that nature. So it is a legitimate physical threat for her around like keeping herself at the top of her priority list. And she had let go her meditation, she had let go her yoga, she had let go her writing, she had let go her exercise, like drinking water. She let go of drinking water because she got so wrapped up in the old ways of how she was used to doing it, of the whole idea of being selfish is bad and wasn't putting yourself first. So it's so vital, women. Like, I can't stress this enough. It is so vital. So me first. Let's say it together, Jeannine. Let's do some of that. I think that's always fun when we do that.
Me
first.
Me first.
Me
Like,
first.
go ahead, ladies. Be naughty. Say it.
Yeah, say it with us. And I know, like, it probably feels corny to you. And great. I want you to feel corny. I want you to feel uncomfortable, because it's you practicing building that muscle of actually putting yourself first. So let's do it one more time. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Me first.
Yeah.
Nice job. High five on that one.
High five. So, prosperity practice for you guys. We invite you right now to take out your calendar, your phone, wherever it is you do your scheduling, and block yourself at least, 3 places where you're going to put yourself first. Like, really, call it me first time if you don't know what you're going to do yet. Just put me first time, right?
Yeah. Right now, ladies, right now, pull out your calendar.
I'm going to do it too.
Awesome. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like an hour either. Like, it can be something like 10-minute meditation in the middle of your day, just to reground yourself. Maybe before an important meeting or a courageous conversation that you're going to have. Just schedule yourself out at least 3 10-minute blocks for yourself from me first time for the next week.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you when you write in about what you're scheduling for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to know. Like, that's the fun part of collaboration and building community together, is we get to build on each other, like the different ideas and the different ways that we do that with each other.
Yeah. One of the ways that Aubrey and I are having a lot of fun with me first time right now is our dance parties. And if you go ahead and block this in your calendar, if you are in the Seattle area, tomorrow night at 7:30, we are having a dance party, a Recharge and Ignite dance party at, it's called Jam Rec Studio at 20th and Jackson. And it's a freaking hoot. We get really silly. We put on costumes and dance around. And the women that have been coming are telling us that it's just what the doctor ordered. Just serious play.
Awesome. Yes, please do join us. It's so much fun. All right, so that's number 1. So the old paradigm that we're calling bullshit on is being selfish is bad, and the simple way to claim your divine feminine power is me first. Ladies, this is not rocket science. This is really simple, but it only works if you actually do it. So we are inviting you to put this into action and get to it. All right? So it's bringing us to our next old paradigm that we're calling bullshit on. So bullshit alert. Letting fear and expectations make your decisions. Yeah, you heard me. So letting fear and expectations make your decisions. So let's just imagine, like, how many times have you had an invitation to do something that you really actually wanted to do, that sounds like fun, and deep down somewhere quietly, like, your desires are just saying, like, yeah, like, oh, I've been wanting to do that for so long. Oh my God, that sounds like fun. Like, oh, I could really use some of that in my life. But then there's a louder, more obnoxious voice that has like some bullshit story about how it's not practical, it's not realistic, about how you need to work instead. You know, maybe it's the story of like how you need to double your business income first, about how you haven't worked hard enough or done enough to deserve it yet. Yeah. One of the biggest ways that I see, particularly because I work with women on changing their money mindset, is money. So I hear women tell me all the time that they can't afford to do something. And it's funny because a lot of the times, like, they don't even know how much it is. Like, their automatic response, it's just like an automatic shutdown response, is like, I can't afford it. And that's letting fear make your decisions. And so we're calling bullshit on letting fear make your decisions. You deserve to allow your desire to make your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another way that I see women do this is they let other people's expectations make their decisions for them. Like, oh, what would somebody think if I opened up a bakery shop because that's really what my heart desires? Like, what would people think of me if I did that? You know, what would people think of me if I actually left my job at 5 o'clock and went and took the yoga class that I really want to? Like, what would they think of me if I bailed out on time?
I hate that so much.
I know. I worked in cultures where there's a weird pride in like how, not really what you get done, but how much face time you put in, how long you're there, how much you're
It's
working.
not 9 to 5. Like, why are we staying till 7?
Exactly. So calling bullshit on letting that fear and other people's expectations make your decisions. You know, and I think there's a lot of like, we do a lot of shoulding on ourselves. Like, oh, I should get that project done before I can go enjoy myself. I should grow my business income. I should make it through this busy season and then I can enjoy my life. So women, listen up. Stop shoulding all over yourselves. Yeah, you heard me.
You heard her.
Stop it. Stop it. So calling bullshit on letting fear and expectations make your decisions. So really think about where you make decisions from. Is it from your desire? Is it from your fear place, from being afraid of what people are going to think of you?
Mm-hmm. So simple way, number 2, to claim your divine feminine power is honor your authentic self, right? Say you die. You see the face of whatever God looks like to you. And she says,
I like that little plug.
She says, so how was your vacation? And you're like, oh shit, that was my vacation, right? Like, we are doing the living the life and waiting for our vacation later kind of thing. So honor my authentic self. So that to me means like, there's a lot of voices, like Aubrey was pointing to, the people pleasing voice. What will people say? And what should I do? And what do my parents expect from me? Like, still we're talking about what our parents expect, right? We're grown-ass women, but it's still there. It's still the story, and there's a lot of voices. And what doesn't get heard is that quieter inner voice, the one that's like, hey girl, remember when you said you wanted to open that bakery? Remember when you said you wanted to keep traveling the world? All of that voice that lets us hear our desires is often the one that's just like totally shut down on top of all the blah, blah, blah. What will people say? What will people say? What should I do? Right? And we get like kind of just sucked into sucked into the stream. And what I want to remind us all of is that we are the creators of our life. And a lot of times we end up just being a victim, and like life happens to us. We're like downstream, like, wait, I was gonna open that bakery, but now I'm working till 7, even though it's called 9 to 5. So honor my authentic self really means listen to your desire and don't let anything get in the way of it. And that can show up in, like, you know, what Aubrey and I were talking about, like honor your desire to go to your yoga class, honor your desire to go back to school if you want to, honor your desire to take a vacation despite what anyone else might think of that. So why should we care about honoring our authentic selves? What's at stake? Well, one thing is you're bored, right? Like, the worst thing in the world to miss out on is your relationship with yourself. Like, when you know yourself, like, to be the girl who's not really gonna do it. Like, I don't know about you, like I stopped saying out loud that I was gonna leave my corporate job because I didn't really believe I was gonna do it. And I actually didn't want to say it out loud because I didn't want people to hold me to it, because I knew I was too scared to do it, right? Until I said it out loud and it was witnessed, and then, oh shit. So what's at stake of not honoring your authentic self is you're bored. You're bored in your life. And the other thing that's at stake is you're boring, which is even worse. Like, to know yourself as the one who's boring, you know what I mean? Like, you know, those people, you're like, what's up? And they're like, not much. And you're like, oh, I found myself being that woman that said, not much.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Like, all I could respond was like, hey, people were like, what are you doing? What's going on? I'm like, I'm working. And like, I couldn't even tell them what I was working on. It wasn't like I was working on like some exciting project that I was super proud of. It was just like, I was just working. I was being sucked dry working. I was boring, and I hated that I was boring. Like, I had nothing. Like, what are your interests? What are your hobbies? I work.
Boring.
Boring.
Yeah, that's what's at stake. And that's a BFD, you know, that's a big freaking deal. To, you know, it's not aligned with who I am. I know some of the women on this hangout, and that's not aligned with who they are.
No, we do not attract boring women. No. We attract vibrant women who are full of life and full of like just creative life force energy and have so many gifts and talents to give to the world. And if you fall into this place where you're bored with your life and you find yourself boring, it's okay. Like, we've been there. You don't have to stay in boring town forever. You can actually do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So the invitation, like if you are in that place, and to avoid being in that place, is to just listen into that inner voice that is your desire. Give her more play. And we have a prosperity practice for this one too. So we're gonna, you know, make an invitation to you. And the prosperity practice over there on your end is to just listen in and notice the automatic response, notice the voices that come up for you, and just notice, like Aubrey said, just notice where they're coming from. Is it from your desire, or is it from your fear? You're letting fear make your decisions.
Yeah. And so remember, this is simple way number 2 on how to claim your divine feminine power. And it's all about honoring your authentic self. So part of that is you've got to be willing to hear your authentic self and what do you actually desire before you shut down and just like clamp it off. Like, I know I work with so many women that they can't even get to what their desire is because they automatically close it down and shut it down. So
yeah, like some of the women in my workshop know that when they say, I don't know, we have to put $1 in the jar, because it's just this like the white static from the old TV screen. Like, I don't know, it's just right? Or like the automatic no, it just doesn't let your desire have any room to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So prosperity practice of listening in and noticing what happens for you, what comes up. Do you go to an automatic no? Do you make up stories, or are you listening to your desire?
Yeah. So our invitation to you right now is we want you to come to our retreat. It's in Sedona. It's next month. It's September 17th through the 20th. You'll be staying there for 4 nights at a beautiful retreat center called Grace Groves. We've got the whole place to ourselves. I'm so freaking excited.
Does that mean we can run around in our tutus?
We can run around however we want. We've got the whole place to ourselves. So yeah, we want you to come to our retreat so you can really deepen and practice claiming your divine feminine power. Again, it's 4 nights, it's 3 days in the beauty of Sedona, Arizona, September 17th through the 20th. You'll be fed well with nourishing foods that support your body and your mind. And the investment for this retreat is $1,997. Just let that sink in a little bit. You know, and when Jeannine and I have been sharing this retreat with women, their jaws have dropped actually on the price of the retreat, on how low of an investment it really is. Because typically retreats in Sedona cost between $3,000 and $5,000. And we've been really intentional about pricing this in a way that allows you to really say yes to your authentic self and yes to your desires by keeping it at a very reasonable price point for you. So I'm just so excited about the retreat. I want to tell you more. So this is not a retreat where you're just going to sit around and get information thrown at you, and then you go home and you're like, well, how the hell do I actually integrate or implement any of this? So everything that we are doing has been specifically designed so you can embody what we're learning. You'll actually be living the information that we're teaching so that you can carry it on with you when you go home. You are going to leave feeling so alive and so invigorated and like really just in charge of living your life on purpose rather than letting life happen to you. Jeannine talks earlier about so often how we play victim and we let life happen to us. And so this is an opportunity to spend 3 days really reclaiming your life and taking charge again and feeling what that vital life force energy run through you and getting just like jazzed up about what it is, who you are and what you're creating in your world. You're going to have more productivity with greater ease by tapping into your divine feminine power. And Jeannine and I have been, living this way for quite some time now. And we coach with actually one of the best wealth consciousness coaches out there in the country. And she has taught us so much. And we are so eager to share this wealth of information on how to use your divine feminine power just to be more productive and have greater ease in your life.
Yeah. And actually, when you get to Sedona and you see us, we're going to be vibrating. Because we are going to be having just spent 5 days in Sedona before you even get there, and we're going to be in with her at a retreat. So we're going to be coming off of a retreat,
yeah,
and soaking up the energy vortexes and just ready to share with you.
Yeah. Thanks for putting that in. We're not asking you to do something that we don't do ourselves. Like Jeannine and I have been on 3, this will be our 4th retreat together just in the last year. So we know the value and want to extend that value of getting away and getting those perspectives that you only get when you get away. You can't see the things that you can see when you spend 3 days immersed in community with like-minded women. And another really, really pertinent thing about the retreat, what you're going to get out of it is we're really going to illuminate in loving ways all your blind spots that have been holding you back. So just really loving, compassionate ways that you can release those ways that have been holding you back, those old stories that you have, that old paradigm that you've been buying into, that there's just that part of you that's just so ready to break free from it, and you just need a little support to get there. And another thing that you'll get from this retreat that I hear a lot from my clients and my women that I work with is, being vulnerable and showing up authentically is really scary. And so through this retreat, you'll actually increase your ability to show up from an authentic place, from a vulnerable place that will have you just like so much power added to your life than what you're having now.
Yeah, for example, like right now, being on this live Google Hangout with you, this is like me leading from vulnerability, right? Like remember last year, like I wouldn't even get on a Skype call. I'd be like, let's just do the phone. Right? So being vulnerable with groups of women has just like blown my heart open this year. And now like I find myself leading groups in ways I never thought I would. So the other thing I wanted to put in, Aubrey, was, I hear a lot of women say, oh, I've been traveling a lot this summer, and oh, Sedona sounds great. And what I want people to really get is this is not just another trip. Like some people are like, ooh, vacation. And while we know life is vacation, this retreat is not just another getaway. Like it is a purposeful, intentional, life-changing, like Aubrey said, when you get yourself immersed in this stuff for days on end and you really get to hear those voices and you are witnessed in speaking this stuff out loud and You get clear on all that's in the way of it, and you're witnessed in that, and then you're asked, well, what do you want to do about it? It is huge. That's not like, let's go sit around the pool and have a cocktail. Lord knows I love to do that, and Lord knows I do. But like Aubrey said, I go on retreat because I want to move my life forward. And I do it often because it is the biggest way that I know how to expand. Like I come home changed every time. And so I want to paint a picture, not just of the benefits that you'll get, but a little bit of what we're going to be doing, right? Like Aubrey said, we're going to be in Grace Grove. We have the place to ourselves. There's a yoga barn. I don't know what that looks like yet, but we're going to be leading our dance parties there every day to like raise our vibration and start from a great juicy place every morning. We're going to be going into the Red Rocks. We're going to do guided meditations, like right there in the energy vortex. We are going to practice radical self-care with vegetarian meals, time for journaling, and live music. We have Sarah Christine joining us, this amazing singer, songwriter, vocal coach from Vashon Island. She's going to come and play with us, for us, lead us in song. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I just want to pipe in there. I actually had the honor and privilege of being on retreat with Sarah Christine just last month, actually. And this woman is just, she's fucking amazing. Like, I have never had an experience of, you know, this retreat was much larger. It was 65 women, and Sarah and I were there together, and it was just magical. Like, the woman, she can channel spirit and just like sing songs on demand based on what's going on. And she can create just like that. And so I'm super thrilled to have her be part of our team to help the women that will be going on retreat with us, just really help them clear out their blocks, helping them voice their power. I know as women, like using our voices, you know, isn't something that we're necessarily comfortable with. So I'm just over the moon, ecstatic to have Sarah Christine there with us. It is like that alone, having 3 days of private concerts with Sarah Christine is worth the $2,000 right then and there. But you know what, we have a bonus for you ladies. So, you know, we want this to be easy for you to say yes to your desires instead of letting fear and expectations make your decisions for you. So for those of you that are on the Google Hangout and are watching it, we are going to give you $200 off of the retreat price. So that drops it down to $17.97. If you register for the retreat by this Thursday, that's August 27th at 5 p.m. So $200 off, dropping it down to 4 nights, all your meals included, private musician, and an energy vortex for $17.97.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you got a bonus because I got a bonus too.
You got a bonus too.
Yeah. So on top of that, we are including in the price of $17.97 4 coaching sessions. So this is a huge value, and you can use these sessions however you want. And this is like, so with $200 off and 4 coaching sessions involved, like included, that's an $800 savings right there, right? So that's $17.97 for, like, let me see, I worked out the numbers. So that $17.97 for the value of $2,597. So that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Other retreat leaders are like, you guys are cray, and we and we say we want to make it easy. You know, we just want to make it easy.
Yeah, we want to make it easy for you to honor your authentic self.
Yeah, and so here's how you here's how you register. If your desire is knocking and if you're like, okay, I'm in, let's do this. You register at, I'll read the URL for you. It's www.tinyurl, so tinyurl.com/recharge and ignite. Yeah. So there you have it, tinyurl.com/recharge and ignite.
Yeah. So I want to recall the prosperity practice that we gave to you for this one was to notice what your desire was and noticed the stories and the automatic responses. So just kind of curious for you, where are you at with all of that? You know, what's coming up for you? Are you choosing from fear, from lack, from scarcity, from other people's expectations, or what you think you have to do based on that old paradigm thinking? Or are you leaning into and allowing your desires to give voice and to be heard? And again, this is all in service to you honoring your authentic self. All right, well, let's move on, because we've got a whole nother simple way to claim your divine feminine power to come up. And I think we have another gifty coming up too. So make sure that you stay tuned for the rest of this. Don't bail out on us now. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing that we're calling bullshit, that old paradigm model that just doesn't fucking work anymore, is this idea that you have to do it on your own. Oh my God, women, I am so tired of hearing you say, I have to do this on my own. Like, let me just paint the picture for you, right? Like, you've got so much going on and you're trying to do it all. Like, somebody offers you to help you out and you're like, no, I got it. I'm fine. Oh, no, I've got it all. Like, I know the women that Jeannine and I attract, and we are those women. They're like, oh no, I've got it. Like, I am super fucking capable. Just stay away. I've got this handled, right? And that's just leaving you tired and worn out and missing out on a lot of your life, a lot of the good juiciness. So, you know, if you think that you've got something to prove by doing it on your own, like, let's just rethink that. Like, that's the part I'm calling bullshit on. You do not have anything to prove. This notion that if you get support, if you accept support, if you ask for support, whatever that looks like, that means that you failed in some way, that's a failure. Like, I'm calling bullshit on that. It does not mean you're a failure.
Yeah, like, I'm totally guilty of having that in the past.
Me too.
That was totally my story.
Yeah, me too. Like, I was totally one of those women. In fact, you know, like, I've had it where I've thrown parties at my house and it's the end of the night and people are like, oh, can I help you clean up? And I'm like, no, I got it. Like, I so got this. You go home, like, you enjoy yourself, you know, trying to be the good hostess. And like, what happens is, like, everybody leaves. It's my husband and I, and like, we're cleaning up, which is fine. Like, I have no issues with it. But what it does is, like, we spend time cleaning up, and what we could be doing is going and having some really hot, juicy, passionate sex in bed. And by the time we get done cleaning up, like, there's no energy left over for it. And so, you know, it's like, you know, and I think sometimes we just do it because, like, we have this idea, like, oh, it'll actually take less time if I do it, and it'll get done the right way. Like, it'll get done the way I want it to. So I want you to really understand the impact of this old paradigm thinking of that you have to do it on your own. So, like, Jeannine, tell us the impact of, like, why should people care about calling bullshit on this idea that they have to do it on their own?
Well, I'm pretty sure you touched in on a number one. What's at stake is your sexy, passionate sex life. Right? Like, when you said that, I was like, oh yeah, I remember myself last year when I was working full time. I was in a, you know, an education program. I was getting my business started, and I was so not present with my partner. God bless her for sticking in there with me, because I was just like, we were two ships passing in the night. So what's at stake is great sex. Like, how many of you like, when you get to that place where you're not present and you're so busy, like, sex just becomes like this obligatory thing, or like, I should just to keep this connection going, or it becomes like mediocre. Nobody wants mediocre sex, right? Like,
no, not at all. I don't want mediocre sex.
So I have to do it alone is like the thing that leaves you so depleted, so overbusy, overstressed that you're not even showing up for this thing. Like, you know, that could be one of the, like, I mean, not everybody loves sex, but I think a lot of people do. So what's at stake is, yeah, being completely depleted, that you're missing out on things like great sex. Another thing you're missing out on is connection. Like, I remember just feeling lonely, you know, like your friends are out having barbecues, paddleboarding, getting together, and you're off doing everything alone and avoiding being a failure. And it's like you said, like instead of connecting in with with friends and laughing and putting music on and cleaning up your house, it was you and Joe doing your thing. Like you miss out on connection with friends, and you end up lonely.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I have a really like vulnerable share about this. Like in my past life, like I did this. I was that woman, like I've got it. I'm doing it all on my own. I'm not asking for support. And like, I was so heads down in my work, and I neglected my relationship with my husband, with myself. Like I gained a ton of weight. Like I was suffering from severe depression. Like I spent 4 years in therapy getting myself healed and healthy again. Like I had anxiety attacks. I had to go on medication to manage my anxiety. You know, I was like depressed. I was like laying on the couch all the time, and I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do. And then I just stopped wanting to do anything because nothing sounded like I was just really happy being a slug on the couch. And it came really close to ruining my marriage. Like it was huge. And for those of you guys that know me, like I value my marriage and my relationship above all else. It's like the number one priority after myself. And so it was really huge. And so this is something that's really close to me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about sex, but really to me, that's what it is too. Like, I can't believe that I let it get to the point where that thing that I value the most, my love, that was put way down here on the list. That makes me feel so sad, you know? So simple way number 3 in claiming your divine feminine power is allow and receive support. Allow and receive support. You know, you don't have to do it all alone. In fact, it just doesn't work, you know? And that looks like, you know, even from your partner, like I could have asked for support. Like I was still like, I'm going to walk the dog, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do all of it. Allow and receive support. You know, some people, at the end of my coaching sessions, I acknowledge my clients, and some people have a hard time even receiving acknowledgement. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What can you acknowledge me for? Like, and I know receiving support and in any kind of way, even a simple acknowledgement and compliment. You ever get those people where you compliment them and they deflect it?
Oh yeah, all the time. It's like a field.
If I'm giving you like a sweater, would you be like, no? So this is our practice. Allow and receive support, like in so many different ways. Just by having a friend know what you're up to and hold you accountable. Asking your partner to do the thing that you don't have time to do. Asking a friend to give you a ride. Like all of these ways, right? And another way is to allow yourself to be in a supportive community. You know? One of the things that I love most is being in a circle of supportive, collaborative women. And, you know, that's why I create this retreat. That's why we have these silly dance parties. That's why I run my Bold Badass workshops. There's nothing like a group of women supporting each other. Yeah. And so a prosperity practice for you on this one is go out there and let yourself allow and receive support, whatever that looks like to you, right? Yeah. And for example, one of the ways can be like, show up tomorrow if you're in Seattle, come play with us, be in a circle of supportive women. Yeah.
Yeah, the universe is giving you all kinds of opportunities to be supported. And so start looking for them, be aware of them. And when you see them, like allow support. So practice exercising the muscle of allowing and receiving support. And we have another bonus gifty that we want to give to you as a way for you to practice that muscle. I know Jeannine's all like, woo!
Giving gifts, giving gifts. Here's your chance, ladies, receive.
Thank you. So our gift here is we are going to give away 5 desire coaching sessions to the first 5 women that claim them by Thursday at 5. So another Thursday at 5 deadline to claim your free gift here. And there's absolutely no strings attached. It's really just an opportunity for you to practice saying, yeah, I'm going to allow and receive support. And I'll tell you, I'm just going to toot our own horn. Like, Jeannine and I are fucking amazing coaches. And if you're not like emailing us immediately after you're watching this broadcast to claim your one of the 5 slots, just really consider doing that, because you're missing out, and it's a great way to practice building that muscle.
Yeah, and the thing I want to throw in there is you might not know what your desire is, and that's okay. It's like the session might just be about getting all those other voices out of the way so that you can hear that quieter one, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah, exactly. So our gifty, our free, another bonus here again is we're giving away 5 desire sessions. You have to claim them by Thursday at 5, the first 5 women. And how you claim that is send us an email to claim it and say, yes, I want a desire session. And our emails you can find in the live Google Hangout information, but we're also at aubrey@awakenyourgreatness.guru. And most likely you've received an email from me lately, so you can always just reply to that. And email Jeannine at Jeannine.Widmann@gmail.com. So that's how you claim your desire sessions.
Wow. Yeah. So we are just coming to the end of our hour together. So let's do a recap, because we covered a lot of information here, right?
Yeah, we certainly did.
Yeah. So if you want to jot down notes, if you want to capture it all, bullshit number 1. Being selfish is bad. Way to claim your feminine. I'm like, I am stupefied by that. Being selfish is bad. Simple way to claim your divine feminine power. Me first.
So the second old paradigm idea that we're calling bullshit on today was letting fear and expectations make your decision. Bullshit. Simple way to claim your divine feminine power is to honor your authentic self.
Old way that is no longer working. Number 3 that we're calling bullshit on is I have to do it all by myself. Simple way to claim your divine feminine power, number 3, is I allow and receive support.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, and we invite you to take on all the prosperity practices. If you weren't able to put things in your calendar right here, we invite you to do that. Go ahead and put it in there. Me first time. Write into us. Let us know what came up as we made that invitation for you to come and join us in Sedona in September. What are your desires around it? What is the fear? All of it. We want to know. And we want to know who wants to have desire sessions with us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a reminder, we've got all these offers are time sensitive. There's just a few days to claim those. So again, the deadline for all the bonuses are Thursday at 5, and you can claim them by emailing us or simply registering directly at tinyurl.com/rechargeandignite. And, as we close out this session, women, I really want to acknowledge you. And I'm like, ooh, having some emotion come up here. So here's the vulnerability part. I really want to acknowledge you for putting yourself first, for being here, for hearing the desire within you that does want to claim your divine feminine power. For that part of you that just says, no more. I can't live in this old way anymore. It doesn't feel good. And I call bullshit on it. So I want to acknowledge you for all of you, for all of how you showed up, for giving yourself the gift of being here, for giving yourself the gift of just knowing that there's other like-minded women out there, and that there is a community that's growing and building where you can show up and you can be your authentic self. And you don't have to be any particular way. You don't always have to be happy or joyful or whatever. You can show up. You can be a mess. You can cry. You can yell. You can scream. And we're going to love you and accept you however you are and show up. So really just want to thank you for giving yourself the time today and for coming in and playing with us and hanging out with us. We've so enjoyed having all of you here with us. And like Jeannine said, like, continue the conversation, engage with us. We want to hear from you. What are your ahas? What are the juicy little nuggets? Like, what's your story? Like, you have a story that needs to be told, that is wanting to be told, and we want to hear it from you.
Aubrey, I want to acknowledge you for being such a fierce, loving stand for all the people in your life and the women in our community and the women that are with us today. And for me, like, to co-create with you in this way is such a joy to me. Like, it makes it fun and easy, and that's what I'm up for, fun and easy, but also just from heart. Like, when I'm in my head, you get me back down in my heart. So I love you, and I'm so glad to be creating this, and I can't wait to be in Sedona with you.
Yeah, thank you. You know, Jeannine, I have loved our last year and a half journey together from the very moment that you said, I want to lead retreats in beautiful places with powerful women. And I was like, I want that too. Like, let's do that together. And yeah, creating with you, it's fun, it's silly, it's playful. Like, we do such deep, powerful work, and it feels just so easy. Like, in all of what we've created together, there's not been a moment that's felt like hard work. And we've done a lot. Like, we kick some ass and do some really deep, important work together. So I just want to thank you for being joy from a place of authenticity, and for being that fierce mother love that you are, and who you are, and what your stand is for you and for me and for our community that we're building. And, you know, just thank you so much. I just so love being with you, and so grateful to get to play and have fun with you.
Yeah.
Yay.
Got that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. All right, well, we're at the end of our time. So women, we are inviting you to put everything that we have talked about into action. This is not one of those times you're going to take the information and just like let it sit on a shelf somewhere and collect dust. If you're really serious about transforming your life and creating from that divine feminine power that you are, like, we want you to put it into action, and we want you to support you in doing that. So allow yourself to do something different if this is new for you, and continue on if this is something how you normally are. But everything that we've had have been really simple, easy ways for you to claim your divine feminine power. So put it into action, put it into good use, and keep us posted on how it's going for you.
Yeah, until next time, powerful women, we thank you for being with us and love you.
Bye. Love you. Mwah.
Bye.